Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a happy wreath. Now this is a very plain happy wreath, and I did that on purpose because I'm going to give you a few options of how you can decorate it to your own tastes. This is just a kind of slip knotted chain with a couple different colors, and you can wrap it around your wreath however you like. I start in the front, kind of wrap it around. It'll take me a moment. So I can wrap it around, and I can adjust these how I want them, so I have kind of a little wreath with a garland on it, like that. And then when they're connected, I can take a little bow that I made, I can slip knot that in, so it'll hold the kind of little, blanking on the name, the garland, and then have a nice little bow on it as well. Or you can just put a bunch of little cute little bows all over it, which I think would be super cute too, in whatever color you preferred. Or I made a cute little set of Christmas lights, and you can attach those on as well. I'll show you how I did it the first time that I put them on, but they just kind of, when they attach, they don't look quite as sloppy, so, but I'll show you how I did that. So it looks pretty cute too. I chose not to attach everything ahead of time because that way you can change it how you like it, because there are different ways, and I know, like, a lot of times when I'm making things I'll think, God, this is so cute, and I'm pretty proud of how it looks, and then I see the variations, like in the colors, or you know, just little things that are changed once people get it and they start making it for themselves, and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that. So that's why I'm kind of leaving this the option for you to do it that way. This is obviously an extension of the candy cane going around. I just found what I thought is a really neat way to close it where you can't really tell a whole lot where that is. So I think that's awesome. And I'm going to show how to do that. Obviously this is kind of a repetitive pattern. I'll probably make the entire thing with you. It shouldn't take super long to do it. So we'll go through it together. I know my tutorials are long sometimes, but obviously I know too that people don't watch the entire thing, so that works well for them. So band-wise, it is band heavy to make this initial piece. It's 346 green for it, so it is band heavy. And that's why too, I think being able to change it and customize it so that you can continually make it something different is important as well. So, and then of course you'll need the bands for the eyes, the cheeks, and the mouth as well. I did not count up bands for how I did these, but I will show how to make them so you can make them as well. I really, really love these lights. They're so cute. I don't think anybody's made them before. And although somebody will probably see it and do it, I think this reminds me of a lot of the bracelets that I love to wear are ones that are kind of delicate like this, but then there's like 3 or 4 wraps around of them, and then you have like just kind of dangles connected with like a button. So it's totally a bracelet too. I love it. So, and if it's been made before, great job, but I made it too, and I haven't seen yours before. So first we'll talk about the eyes and the cheeks. The eyes, you can either use wrapped bands or beads to make them. I use 4x7mm pony beads. You may be able to get the bigger ones on here. It just kind of depends. Might be a little too skinny, but you kind of have to gauge that yourself. For the eyes, you need to have one of your beads on 2 bands, and the other one is just on 1 band. So, but to get them threaded, you want a piece of craft wire or string, thread, floss, anything like that. That you can take a band or bands, depending on if you're making the one with the 2 or the 1. Slide that band down in there and thread it through the center of your bead. Oops. So you need, your eye bands need to have one with 2 and one with 1. So put those aside. If you don't have any beads, you can still use a wrapped band for the eyes. It's the same thing. You make one with 2 bands pulled through and one with 1 band pulled through. But you take whatever color you want for your eye, put the band on your hook, wrap it around into a figure 8, grab both bands, wrap them around again, and then pull through either 1 or 2 bands, depending on which one you're making. So you need to do that. The cheeks are made on both on 2 bands pulled through. So whatever color you want for the cheeks, take a band, put it on your hook, figure 8, grab both bands, wrap it around again, and then pull through your 2 bands. Like so. So you'd make 2 of those the same way. So on the loom, we're only working on 6 pins, so you can kind of work wherever you want to. This is dark green from Rainbow Loom, and then this is teal from Rainbow Loom. It's a little bit different. So it's 2 bands to start, and we're just going to make a starburst. So from the center, we're going to go out to the 6 pins around. Like so. And then 2 bands in the center. I'm going to wrap it around 1 and 2. So 3 times in total. Then we'll take our hook, go in through the center cap band that we just put on, grab the top 2 bands, pull it back towards themselves, and do that all the way around our circle. That. Push your bands down. Now we're going to do a row around with 2 bands, so all the way around. Like that. And then flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. Push your bands down. We'll do another row just like that. So I always debate whether to do the whole thing with you, especially when it's a repetitive pattern, or if I should just say, give you the general idea once we get past like a certain point and then say, go forth and venture on. But I never quite know because I hear it both ways, that they want to see and that they don't want to see, and so like that. Flip over the bottom 4 again. So I always figured that if I do it and I do it all and show you how to do it all, you can do it with me, or if you need to, I can, as I explain along, you can figure it out. You can just skip to the parts that you need and make it that way. Either way, it gets made and you enjoy it, so that's all that matters. So what we just did, I'm considering to be like round 1. So I'm going to take a band and I'm going to put it up here, so I can keep track of what round I'm on. Each round technically consists of 3 go-arounds of bands. It was a lot easier on the candy cane because we alternated colors as we went around, whereas on this we're dealing with a solid color, so we really need to keep track of where we are. So next round is going to be, we'll do a half row, which will be 1 band right there. Next 3 spots will be 2 bands. And then it'll be a single band again. And then we're only going to flip over the bands on these 4 pins over here on the right. And this first one will always be 4 bands. First part of the round, I should say. Push your bands down. We're going to do the exact same thing again, another half row. So a single, and then double in the next 3 spots. And then another single. So and then our second part here, there'll be 3 bands to flip over on the end pieces, and then on the side here it'll be 4. So flip those over. Push your bands down. The next part is we're going to go all the way around with 2 bands. That. So these 2 pins right here, there will be 6 bands to flip over. The 4 bottom ones and then the 2 single bands from the half rows. And on the ends it'll be the 3 bands. And then on the right here it'll be 4 bands. And push your bands down again. And you can probably grab your center now and go ahead and pull that up like that. So that was the end of round 2. So I'm going to take another band and put it up there. So now we'll start round 3, half row, so a single, 3 double, I should tell you too, I know we got a little far here, but if you want to just add in wrapped bands for like baubles or lights or something as we go, we are going to put the face right here. So if you want to add in stuff as we go, just kind of keep in mind that this is where the face is going to go. And we do that on the 6th round. So after you have this, flip over the 4 on the right, 4 bands all around. Push those down. Another half row, so single, double in the next 3, and single, and flip over these 4. This time it'll be the 3 on the ends and 4 on the right. Push your bands down, and then this row is 2 bands all the way around. Like that. So again, these are going to be 6 on the left, 3 on the ends, and 4 on the right. So that was the end of round 3. So again, half rows, single, double for the next 3, and single, flip over the 4, push the bands down, another half row, so single, then double for the next 3, and single. And if you ever wonder if you get lost or not sure what half row you did, you can see here that I have 2 single bands, so I know that I'm in where I'm at in my round here. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you look and you go, do I have 1 or did I do 2 half rows? I don't remember. So it's 2 half rows per round and a full row. Push those down. Now that full row. So 2 bands all the way around. Like that. 6 on the left. On the points, or in the middle, and then 4 on the right. Push your bands down. That's the end of round 4. So again, starting again, 2 half rows. So single, double for the next 3. Single, flip over only on the right, push your bands down, another half row, so start with a single, and then double in the next 3, and single again. Flip over these 4. Push your bands down. Now another full row, 2 bands all the way around. I know there are lots of wreaths to choose from out there now, but I still like mine because I like the solidness of it. So all the way around, flip over either the 6, 3, or 4. That. Push your bands down. So we just finished the 5th one. So our next round is going to have the eyes, face, and cheeks in it. So first we're going to start with a half row, just normal. So a single band, and then double bands in the next 3. And then a single band right here. So go ahead and flip over those 4. Push your bands down. So now we're going to put the eyes on. So you have the one with the 1 band and then the one with the 2 bands. So the 1 band will go on first, right here in the front on the left. And then the one with the 2 bands will go next to it on the right. And you probably could technically leave this as 2 bands, that's really up to you, but I think that the 1 band held it just fine. Then it'll be 2 bands in the next 2 spots. And then a single band. Then we have flip over the 4. So 3 on the ends and the 4 on the sides. Push your bands down. Then we'll add the cheeks. These are both through 2 bands. And this is the row where we go all the way around with 2 bands. We're just adding the cheeks in as well. And 2 bands around the rest. So I flip over either the 6, 3, or the 4. Like that. And then in the front we need to add our mouth. So whatever color you want for the mouth, you put the band on your hook, wrap it around 1 time into the figure 8. And I'm going to grab the bands that are up here on the front, take them off the pin, slide down my mouth band, and then put the bands back onto the pin. All of them. There we go. So I look like that. So that is end of 6. So we have 6 left to go, and it is our pattern. So half row, and 2 bands, and the next 3, and then single. First half row ones we flip over are all 4. Push your bands down. Next half row, so start with a single, then double in the next 3, and a single. And then again, flip the 4. These will be 3 on the top and the bottom, in the middle, and the right is 4. Push your bands down. This row is 2 bands all the way around. That. Then you'll either flip over the 6, 3, or the 4. That. So that's the end of round 7. Now another start our round 8, so half rows again. Whoa. Flip over the bottom 4. Push down, another half row, Flip over the 4 on the right. Push your bands down. Then there'll be 2 bands all the way around. That, then flip over to either the 6, 3, or 4. I suppose I should say that I know exactly what else this looks like, and something like that will probably be coming along before long. So, to keep that in mind, it's coming. It'll be a little different. Just got to put that out there so nobody does a color change and says that they have a brand new design. That kind of makes me sad sometimes. So, that's the end of round 7. So put my band up there. Or no, 8, sorry. Another row around, half row. Flip over the 4. Push down, another half row, four on the right, push your bands down, full row all the way around, flip all the bands except for the top 4. Yikes. Stay on. Like so. That's the end of round 9. So we're getting there. It's going much faster than I anticipated it would, so that's a good thing. Because it seemed like when I recorded, or not recorded it, but made it, it seemed like it took a long time. So half row. Single. Doubles in the next 3, and single. So flip the bottom 4 on the right 4 pins. Push your bands down. Single. I don't know why I'm coming at this backwards, but I am now. Change it up, confuse you. The next 3 spots are going to be the double and then the single. And then again flip the 4. Getting all fancy. Push the bands down. Now we'll do the row around with 2 bands. The wreath definitely gets in the way towards the end here. And flip over all the bands except for the top 4. Push the bands down. End of that round. So again, half row. Sure hope I didn't miscount somewhere, that'd be bad. 4. I don't think if you missed a row or added a row, it would be the end of the world, but it might be annoying. Another half row. Flip over on the right. And looks like I flipped over an extra one here. Yep. Gotta fix the boo-boo. There we go. Like that. Push the bands down. Now we'll have the row all the way around with 2 bands. That. Flip over everything but the top 4. Push the bands down. So that's 11. 1 more to go. Almost done. So the half rows. And the single, then the 2 bands, and the next 3. Flip over on the right. Another half row, single, double, 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 and single. Again, flip over on just the right. Push your bands down. Then the last will be a row around with 2 bands. Then flip over everything but the top 4. All right. Push everything down. So now, to get this closed so that it is pretty seamless, what I would have you do is to make sure that we are not going to lose anything, is you should make a few slip knot bands that are fairly long. Either if you're confident in yourself and your looming abilities, 2 would definitely be long enough. If you're not sure and kind of need a little help at times, make them a little longer, because what we're going to do is I'm going to slip knot, take the band, pull it up through the bands that are on the pin, slip knot it. I'm going to do that for each one of the pins around. I'll just make them all 3, just because it is safer. The longer they are, the safer it is. We're just going to pull them up through every pin, make the slip knot. These are essentially going to be place markers. So that we know where our bands are. Let's make a few of them here, so I have enough. You can make these on your hook too. Sorry if I'm doing them all on my fingers and you're like, what are you doing? But it's just put a band on your hook, pull another band through, both ends on, pull the side nearest the hook through the other side. So that's 1. If you want to make them 3 long, same process. So that's 4. So 1 for each pin, so you should have 6 total. These can also be throwaway bands, bands that are kind of junk or that you don't plan to use again because they're ugly, which I have some of those, but I did not grab them this time. Just go ahead and pull them up around. So make sure they're all in there good, that you have one on each pin, because now what you're going to do is slide off the bands. You don't want to pull it off because you don't want them to totally go away and be distorted, but just pull them off with your hook. And this is what happens. So now, you kind of take them around and see which side is which. So you can kind of keep them separated. So we'll start with one of the top bands. So we're going to line these two sides up. So if you look, these bands, like here is the, just trying to get in a good position so I can show better. There we go. So this is the outside. See how this kind of band comes over like this? That's the same as these bands across here. So this band, in the part that we have the slip knot on, is underneath, is right here with this band. So this lines up with where the slip knot is. So I'm sticking my hook through underneath all of those bands. When I grab my slip knot band, this is why I made them super long, because it is possible for them to fall back through. But with the slip knot band, you can pull them right back up. But you're going to take it, pull it right through. Just like that. And then you go around the circle now. So went through this one, so I'm going to go through the next one over. Grab my next slip knot band, pull it through, and all the way through. If it gets kind of hung up, definitely slow down, because if your slip knot band breaks, that would not be a good thing. So now these two are pulled through, and we just continue to do that around. It gets a little tougher as we get kind of towards the inside area, but it's not super bad. So going through the next one. Get my other little bands out of the way. So we went through that one, so we're going through this one next. Grab my slip knot band, pull it through, like that. And the next one, and this is where it'll get a little tough because you're on the inside now. But just find that next spot over. Get underneath those bands and grab your slip knot. We'll come over to the other side. So it might be easier to come back to where we started over here and then do this one. So otherwise you have to kind of look through to find out where the next one is, instead of going, okay, right here to right here. So through, grab your slip knot band, pull through, last one here. So find that next one over, and the slip knot, so pull through, like so. So make sure they're all pulled through tight. Like that. Kind of looks weird, I know. So starting on the back side, what I'm going to do is kind of this inner one, or even the back one, it kind of depends which one you're comfortable with. I'm going to stick my hook through the bands that are on, that the slip knot go through. Make sure I get all of them on. And I'm going to remove the slip knot. So here's where you got to be really careful, because we definitely don't want to lose it now. So I'm going to take out that slip knot. Then I'll take my hook, stick it through the next bands over. And again, make sure that I get all of them on the hook. Everything that slip knot is through. Take it off. Then I'm going to pull the first 4 bands through the second 4 bands. And we'll do that again. Through the next one, take out the slip knot band. First 4 through the second 4. And again. Again. And we keep going until we get to the very end. And here's the last one, through the center. I feel like a surgeon, very delicate work, we don't want to lose anything. Pull it through the last one. And now you have this big thing on your hook, and what do you do with it? Come around to the back, and you'll find either kind of that first stitch area where we went through. Find some bands that are part of that first area that we went over. And take 2 bands, pull them through. Make sure you get them through the wreath part first, and then pull them through what's on your hook. Put both ends on the hook. Make another slip knot. Don't lose it. And then all the slip knot gets pulled towards the back. And then we hide it inside. Like so. Just kind of give these a little tug so they loosen up a little bit. So look at that. Awesome. Smile. That was cool. So hopefully you found that not horrible. I know that is tough, but I think it looks awesome that way. With the closing, I mean, you can't even tell. So cool. I mean, you might be able to tell a little bit, but you gotta give it to me, I guess. So, alright, so now I'll show you how I made a couple of these things to put on there to decorate them. The little chain here I made for the garland. It's pretty simple if you've made things before. It was just 2 bands on the hook, and then I took another 2 bands, actually, oh, no, on the hook, pulled them through, then did a slip knot, and then I just did that, repeated that pattern until I got it as long as I wanted. Just continually make slip knots. Use whatever color you like, or use whatever design you like. There's lots of different ways you can do it. You can add in some wrap bands, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, but just for that one that I made, it was just basically 2 banded slip knot chain. So I noticed I did that a couple times too. Just back it up and get the bands to even out before you do the slip knot. So that was the garland that I made. The bow is just however big you want your bow. So take your bands, lay them on your loom right on top of each other. Try not to twist them at all. Untwist. I think I did like 6 for my last one, so do 6 this time too. So 6. Then I just took my hook, went in through the side of it, grabbed a band, pulled it up so it was underneath everything, put it back on my hook for a slip knot, right in the center, pull tight, and then you can gently take off the bands off of the pin. So you have a sweet little bow. Then I usually take the tail from the first slip knot and wrap it around the center a few times to kind of give that a little bit more depth. Of course, the red bands, whenever you stretch them out, they turn kind of pink, which kind of stinks, but wrap it around a few times so it has a little bit of a center. Like that. Then I'll take another band, although I don't need to because I could just pull one of these bands back for tying it. But since I don't know exactly what band is on this side versus this side, I always find it easier just to pull through another band. I want to pull it through on the slip knot side. So let's go through some of the stuff in the center. Doesn't have to be everything or anything like that, just enough. Then I'll pull another band through. I can always kind of tell which one it is. So we have a little bow that we can add to our wreath. And then our sweet little lights, which I love. Somebody will probably make me cry when they tell me that they've already been made before, but I love them. So pick your colors. This time I'm going to be using jelly. For each light, it is 2 color, and then whatever color you want for the top of your light, and then you have the chain. So they're fairly simple to make. It's 1 band on the hook, wrap it around once, grab both bands, wrap it around again. Then we'll grab another band, same color usually. Let's say you have 2-tone lights. Put it on the hook, wrap it around 1 time, pull it through what's already on your hook, put both ends on, then you want to center it, and then whatever color you want to use for your lights, for your chain, take that band, put it on the end of your hook, double it, and pull it through, back on the hook. So that's kind of the light, main light part. And then I'm going to take a band, pull it through, both ends on, and slip knot like that. So that's one light. Then I just leave this on my hook and I start to make the second one. So one band on the hook, double it again, another band on the hook, double it, pull it through just your light band, light bulb band, and pull through another, this would be the color of the top of your light, double it, pull it through. So now you have this on your hook, and you'll take another band for your wire and pull that through everything on your hook and make a slip knot. And that's how it starts to make the chain. So then you just keep repeating that for as long as you want your light chain to be. I don't know why I chose white for the wire, because I usually don't like the white wired lights, but I think it's just because of the bright colors. So you have that all on the hook, and pull another band through everything. Back on the hook. I usually try and kind of make sure I get these lined up so they're all going the right way, so it just looks a little bit neater when you're done before I do the slip knot and get it stuck on there. So like that, and you just keep repeating it until you have as long as you need. Totally gonna make more of those. So, push those aside for now. Attaching stuff to your wreath, use this one. Like I said with the garland, if you need to like start out so it's not super annoying, just take your hook, stick it through somewhere, and pull through the first part of your garland until you get the slip knot on the other side. So then it'll hold it in place as you wrap this around. And of course, you gotta watch out for the face. So once I get to where I have it wrapped where I like it, untighten it a little bit, I just take my hook, probably stick it through the center here, back through where I was, and the other end of it, and then find my bow, pull through one part of my slip knot from my bow carefully so I don't pull it out of the bow, through everything that was on my hook, grab the other end of my slip knot in my bow, tie it tight, and then I'll take the slip knot tail from this and just pull it back into the wreath. So that's one way. Of course, center those a little better. And I'll probably add in some more bows to this. Make it all pretty. So that's one way with the garland. For the lights, what I did was I made a long chain. This is most definitely longer than what I need for one wreath, but I like them, so I just kept going. But what I do is you can either wrap it around just like I did with the garland for this one, or if you take your hook and stick it through parts of the wreath, then grab that doubled band at the end of a light, pull it through until you get through the first portion of the light. So I kind of just pulled through a little part, and then as you kind of lay it on here, some of them will just kind of stay where you want them to, and then other ones you're like, okay, well I got that one's pretty good, and then if we attach the red one in here somewhere, so same thing, go through part of the wreath, grab some of those bands from the end of the light, and then pull that through. That will hold in some of the band or some of the lights around. So you don't have to actually attach every single light, and this way you can kind of position your lights a little bit better where you want them around the wreath. So it'd be like, oh, I want one here, or I want the yellow one over here, so I'll put this light here. And that's how it is kind of on a real wreath. Things are just kind of attached how they work. So you just kind of go around and start attaching them where it works for you. Or like I said, you can just wrap it, put it through the center and wrap it all the way around. I kind of like the poke 'em in look. And you can adjust them. Like once you pull them through, you have room to pull them different ways. So I'm definitely going to finish decorating them and making my other little strand of lights for my things. So, but I seriously just want to make a bunch of those. I hope I'm not crushed by somebody telling me that that's already been made. I might have said that before, but you never know. Something worse than making something and then seeing somebody like having made the same exact thing, and you're like, how? We all think of the same things. So I hope you really like the idea of kind of having your own customizable wreath. I hope that it didn't take too long to make the wreath, actually, considering how I thought. It seemed like it took me a while when I made it the first time. And like I said, I know it is band heavy, but being able to add your own little decorations to it, I think will make a difference, so that you can kind of change it and customize it. Because I know I've seen a lot of times people make things and they're like, well, I really like how she did it, and you know, I'm going to use, or like even with edits or things like that on Instagram, people are like, oh, I like how she did that, so I'm going to make mine similar and stuff like that. So, which I know bothers some people, but if you see something you like and you're inspired and, you know, say, hey, this person's awesome and they inspired me to make it this way, then that's awesome. But I hope you like the idea. I know it is kind of a simple design until you get all the fancy stuff on there, but I think it's really cute, and I mean, it's Christmas. So it's a little bit bigger than my gingerbread man. Well, a lot bigger depending on how you look at it. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like the idea. I think it's cute, especially all the little lights. I really can't get over them. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you make any of these and add your own little flair and style to them, and I know somewhere I had the holly leaf, but I seem to have misplaced it. The other gingerbread person must have ran off with it. But if you make any of these, I'd love to see them on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook page, which is feelinspiffy or Crafting Fantastic. Both should find me. And then, of course, it would be awesome if you'd subscribe to my channel here so that you can see when I come out with new things. And also, don't forget to mention other things that you would like to see as well. That's always helpful in getting an idea to, I know I can't get to every idea, but I definitely try my best, and it's the ones that inspire me are the ones that I work on. So, or even just other craft things that you'd like to see as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to go away from the Rainbow Loom. Don't worry, I'm not going to. It's okay. So, but thank you guys very much for watching. I will definitely have more for you soon, and happy looming.